Hey there, Jordan Reynolds from Better Songs here, and today we're going to talk about how to write a love song. If you're a songwriter, you've probably written at least one love song. That's because love is something we can all relate to, and love songs are popular, and they make money. They also have been, and they will always be popular. So, for audiences, love songs are like greeting cards. They can help people express their feelings when they can't find the right words on their own. And for songwriters, love is an endless source of inspiration. But it can be tough to write a good love song. Because we've all heard so many love songs, it's easy to fall back on cliches or recycle more of the same old, same old. It's also very easy to fall into lazy writing habits if you're not careful. Good news is, you can write strong, catchy, memorable love songs if you know the common mistakes to avoid. In this video, we'll look at the writing process for love songs, as well as what makes for touching and enduring ones. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you'd like more songwriting tips. So it's funny, I have become one of the guys in town that people like writing love songs with. And that's funny because I actually do not love writing love songs. I like writing breakup songs. So sometimes when you're not seeking after something, it will still find you. So first, let's look at how love songs are different. You've probably heard or even created some pretty cringe-worthy early attempts of writing a love song. We've all been there. Love songs are their own special unicorns, and you need to know this before you start writing one. But once you know what to look for, writing love songs becomes easier, or at least more straightforward. Now, there are three major mistakes to avoid when you're writing any song, but especially when you're writing love songs. First big mistake: boring writing. Love is supposed to be exciting and new, but because so many songs have been written and sung about love, you need to go the extra mile to make sure yours stands out. Be creative for sure, but avoid oversharing. And when you put on your editor's hat, be ruthless. Is each line, each word as strong as it could be? Can listeners relate to it? Do you have a unique angle, or are you rehashing something that's already been done? The second mistake is heard it all before writing. Many rhymes, phrases, stories, and scenarios have been overused, especially in love songs. When listeners and publishers and A&R reps hear any of these, they tune out immediately because they've heard it all before. Some examples of cliches are these: love is blind, plenty of fish in the sea, and you're cold as ice. If you want to write great songs, you must recognize those overused phrases and rewrite them, because they can slip in without you ever noticing. Use your own words. Come up with creative descriptions. And yes, you will still hear cliches in some of today's songs. Maybe a popular artist got a pass because they wrote it, or maybe some other part of the song was so strong it just slipped through. But if you want to be a pro songwriter, you owe it to yourself not to give anyone in the industry an excuse to pass on your songs. And the third mistake is lazy writing. If you want to move listeners, you got to dig deep into your own feelings and experiences. It's not always a comfortable thing to do. Writers either tend to avoid feelings altogether or go into full-on emo mode, hair across the face. But what you end up with is poorly written love songs that fall flat. It takes work to find a good balance. So keep challenging yourself and keep polishing. Collaborate with others. Let your song sit for a few days and come back with new eyes and new ears. It will make your writing stronger. These are the three big mistakes to keep in mind as you work through the steps of the songwriting process. So we've already covered the 7-step process for writing a song in How to Write a Song, A Beginner's Guide to Songwriting. Everything I said there applies to writing love songs, so I won't repeat all the 7 steps in detail here. Check out that video on your own if you haven't seen it yet. Instead, I'll give a brief review of that video and focus on what's different about writing love songs. Specifically, we'll expand on Step 2, choosing your theme, and Step 4, writing your lyrics. Here we go. Step 1 is to assemble your songwriting tools. Grab your guitar, piano, or other favorite instrument, plus a recording device and a notebook. Also, gather any notes you may have collected for inspiration, whether that's possible song titles, quotes, stories, phrases, or experiences you've had. Step 2 is to embrace a heartfelt concept. Remember, your song's theme or concept is your main unifying idea. Your concept could be a title, it could be a story, or it could be inspiration from a real-life experience, yours or someone else's. Your love songs won't tell your exact life story, and maybe they shouldn't, but the best ones are definitely inspired by real life. And since love is such a broad topic, you'll want to narrow down your concept so you can stay focused. First, choose a topic. Some topics include new love, young love, first love, the one that got away, the one you never noticed before, friendship and companionship, jealousy, rivalry, or competition, or commitment. For example, I just had a song come out with Thomas Rhett called The Hill, talking about fighting for your love is the hill I want to die on. Find something that inspires you to write a great love song. You can find more of these inspirations for topics at bettersongs.com/how-to-write-a-love-song. Next, decide what you'll say about your topic. That's your concept. For example, let's say your topic is forbidden love. Will you walk away from it, or will you give up everything you have to have it? Having a strong concept or a unique angle from the very beginning will make it much easier to write your love song. Finally, decide which emotions you're going to tap into. Do you want your listeners to feel ecstatic, frustrated, sad, hopeful, or something else when they hear your song? Decide that before you start writing. That gives you something to aim for, and you'll be more likely to write a song that touches people, one that they're going to remember. So, to sum it up, a strong concept will be your topic, plus your angle on it, plus the emotion you want to convey. Once you're sure you have an awesome concept, you can move on. Step 3 is to build a chord foundation for your love song. Your song structure matters to your listeners, even if they don't notice it, because it makes your song familiar, relatable, and memorable. There are some song structures that were popular many years ago, and there are others that are popular today. So be sure to choose something that works in popular music today. Now, if you're not sure what I mean by song structure, I have a post about them on my site. Just head over to bettersongs.com/song structure to learn more. Next up, step 4. And here's another place where love songs are a little different, is writing your lyrics. I have 3 tips to help you avoid those mistakes I mentioned in the beginning. Boring writing, heard it all before writing, and lazy writing. First off, don't make lists. Don't turn your song into a list of positive attributes, as in, you're so beautiful and funny with your long legs and your dark hair and the way you rescue kittens and puppies. While compliments are nice, listeners will quickly tune out. Instead, your song needs movement. Your lyrics have to take listeners somewhere, even if it's not an outright story song. And remember to always write to your hook. So here's an example. My Girl by The Temptations. I won't sing it for you, don't worry. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. I feel like a slam poet. Notice how these descriptions are strong and clear, but not something you'd hear every day. Number 2, avoid clichés. Once you've found the clichés in your first draft, pull out your handy old thesaurus and rhyming dictionary. Brainstorm, collaborate. Look for better words, unique phrases, or original ways to describe the same thing. And don't forget to collect great examples of unique phrasing to inspire you when you feel stuck. For example, Hey Ho by the Lumineers. I don't know where I belong, I don't know where I went wrong, but I can write a song. Third, avoid overused or lazy rhymes. Girl and world, we've all heard it before. When you listen to songs, you'll hear many rhymes that have been used over and over, like moon, June, kiss me, miss me, chance, romance. If you find yourself gravitating towards easy rhymes, just stop and see if you can be more creative. You probably can. A good rhyming dictionary will help too, and many top songwriting apps have them built in. If you need recommendations for that kind of stuff, head over to bettersongs.com/songwriting software. Really, really helpful tips. An example of different rhymes. Just the Way You Are, Bruno Mars. When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing just the way you are. Our 4th tip is to find new angles. Dig deep into your own emotions and experiences. Now, that doesn't mean you need to get too personal or bury your entire soul in every song you write, although you probably will once or twice in your writing career. But sprinkle in some powerful, moving little nuggets that will lift the whole song to a new level. One example is Drops of Jupiter by Train. Tell me, did you fall for a shooting star, one without a permanent scar, and did you miss me while you were looking for yourself out there? Tip number 5, be relatable. Drawing on your personal experiences helps you to write from a unique perspective. but avoid being so specific that no one else can relate to the song. For example, you might have a hard time writing a relatable song about how hard it is to write love songs, because most of your listeners will never even try to write a song. So write about everyday things instead. For example, we probably all found ourselves staring at someone at some point. Now, I don't do that. I'm a married man. But you probably have. Then we can look at, like, Can't Take My Eyes Off of You by Frankie Valli. You'd be like heaven to touch. I want to hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. Tip number 6, be sad or nostalgic, my favorite. If you're writing for the masses, which is what I call writing popular songs for radio airplay, in general, you're going to want to avoid being overly serious or depressing. Love songs, however, allow you a little more emotional bandwidth. With a love song, you have a little bit more flexibility to go down paths you might avoid otherwise. An example of this is Rolling in the Deep by Adele. The scars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. Tip number 7 is to paint detailed pictures. Avoid vague descriptions of how you're feeling, like, I'm so sad, or you ripped my heart out. Instead, make your descriptions so clear your listeners can imagine your lyrics are like a scene in a movie. John Mayer does an incredible job of this in Edge of Desire. Listen to this. Don't say a word. Just come over and lie here with me. Because I'm about to set fire to everything I see. I want you so bad I'll go back on the things I believe. There, I just said it. I'm scared you'll forget about me. It's unbelievable. Finally, tip number 8. Don't be afraid to rewrite. You'll never get a song right on the first try. Maybe every now and then, but rewriting is where songwriting magic happens. So embrace the process. This doesn't mean that you let perfectionism get in the way and never release a song. But do your best to make sure that every song you write is the best it can be before you send it out into the world. So these are my best tips for writing love song lyrics. We have 3 more steps to help you finish writing your song. Step 5 is to craft your siren song, your melody. Your melody will usually be the most memorable and singable part of your song. That's why I like to keep melodies nursery rhyme simple. You'll rarely keep the first draft of your lyrics intact once you start experimenting with the melody. Expect some back and forth, revisiting both lyrics and melody until they work together seamlessly. With love songs especially, make sure your melody is evoking the emotions you're aiming for in step 2 when you chose your concept. Check out this post on my site for more advice on writing strong melodies. bettersongs.com/how-to-write-a-melody. Step 6 is writing chord progressions from the soul. The chords in your song are a foundation or base layer that your melody dances on top of. You might come up with your chord progressions first, or you might be inspired by a melody first. Either way is fine. But when it comes to chord progressions, make sure that you're choosing popular progressions that fit your genre. You can find a full guide to chord progressions at bettersongs.com/chord progressions. The most important thing to make sure that your chords convey the emotions you want your song to bring out, the ones that you chose back in step 2. Step 7 is to capture your passion for posterity, also known as recording your demo. Finally, you're ready to demo your love song. Whether you record in your own home studio or head out to a pro studio, make the best demo you can. You've put in all the effort to write a great song, so make sure it shines. You don't need to give every song a full band treatment, just make sure your version is as close to radio ready as you can get it. And if you need tips for recording your demo and setting up your home studio, check out bettersongs.com/how-to-set-up-a-home-recording studio. It's that easy. Congratulations on writing your latest love song.